crunch time at Ross and Locke. The crew from Big Dirt FNQ have set themselves a major challenge. Try to get as much junk out of the popular tourist spot as part of the Clean Up Australia campaign, the Great Northern Cleanup. Dealing with smaller wrecks and other rubbish was not so much of an issue. All it took was a bit of grunt work and horsepower to get those bodies out of the creek. But life is never meant to be easy. There's always something that comes along to make it a little bit more challenging.
It was, yeah, it was ridiculously hard. And the boys had their way of doing things, and I and George also had a different way of doing things. And
the old wreck that had been half buried for at least 5 years. Plan B sounds promising. More power, more grunt.
I don't know how keen Timmy will be, but if he goes hooks on one side of the chassis, I go the other side and just both pull it. If he's keen, I reckon so. I'll keep myself away from him.
You have a couple people that have a rough idea or a good idea what they're doing and need to be doing, and they usually sit back and let the louder, more in-your-face idiots have a go first. And you know, obviously we'll let the safety side. If it's going to hurt someone, we'll stop them. But for the better part, a couple of us, mostly me and George, will sit back and just watch the sideshow happen. And when they fail miserably, we step in and show them how it's done.
Me and Boo ended up starting to drag it, and then all the chains we had broke, so we're stuck. We couldn't drag it anymore.
Running out of chains.
Seeing a chain do that, not of that size. A proper tested chain should just snap. Shouldn't stretch. It stretched, and then it stretched some more. And then it just kept fucking stretching until it was stiff and solid. And then it broke.
Wait, Timmy!
Breaking everything and fucking all the cars. Yeah, it's just tedious. Get the hook point. Originally tried to pull it out from the front, but it was hooking too much sand because it was buried under the sand.
It was ridiculously hot. None of us had sunscreen as usual. None of us wearing long sleeve clothes or anything like that. It was a day at the river. You're meant to be in the river most of the day. It's been a lot longer than we thought. Dragging these cars out in the hot sun is, 32 degrees or something silly like that. We were roasted. White skin out of winter and straight into the bloody hot summer sun.
One failed attempt after another before Ray had an idea, which kind of sounded doable.
I reckon you can just leave it another year or so, there'll be nothing left, eh?
Yeah, be a bit lime.
Bit of lime, we'll fucking rust up.
Oh, that's right. Someone put a rock on there. Jack,
You haven't lifted it any.
Can't,
You fucking shit.
Look at the tear.
Oh, it's fucking
My method was to, instead of dragging the car and its undercarriage and the differentials and whatnot, which were a massive anchor pretty well in the soft sand, simply flip it onto its roof. It was a wreck already. Flip it onto its roof and chain up really short and really low and use the car's forward momentum to help lift the front out of the sand. Instead of towing from the top and dragging it directly into the sand, lifting it out and therefore creating less drag and whatnot, and you actually have a chance of towing it out. And when one car fails, you hook another one up and just keep chaining them together to get it out.
Go for work, it's top
Now with temperatures on the riverbed passing 37 degrees, it was time to get serious. Time to pull out the big guns, a tow truck from Matty's workplace.
My method was a little different, but I just kept refining their method and giving them a few pointers on, obviously this is going to work better, and okay, your idea isn't working, let's try and change it a little bit. And I kept putting out my original idea, but it kept getting pushed aside that the tow truck could definitely do it, and as usual it was a gutless little piece of crap.
Lowered the tilt tray and slid it under some more, and we got it on to the point that we could move it, but then we sort of had no steering in the tow truck.
Yeah,
Getting back to basics, spare tyres have many uses. In this case, wedging it under the wreck gave them much more needed leverage.
So what we done is we pushed it up with the car, with my 4-wheel drive, with my 80 series, pushed it up until we got onto some hard rocky ground. Once we got on the hard rocky ground, we tied a soft sling around the back of the car and onto my bull bar, and then lowered the weight of the car onto my bull bar and let it hang, and then we lowered the tray of the truck and slid it under further so we could get it onto the tray properly.
But yeah, it was a bit of a struggle, and they fired us around with the tow truck, and 2 or so hours later managed to get it out, and you know, it was a good day.
It was fun. It posed a really big challenge for us. Like, it was just like fucking, it was one of the hardest challenges and one of the harder things that I've had to try and get out of somewhere stuck. Like, I've dragged cars up the side of the range that have rolled off the range and shit like that to get parts out of and to help people get their cars back up onto the road and that. And that was the hardest thing I've ever done.
That was the main part I was looking for after dragging all the cars out, picking up rubbish and bags. I just wanted to jump in the water the whole time anyway. Especially seeing we had a big night the night before up at Tenerife, so it wasn't, I was feeling a bit seedy most of the day.
With George's car suffering from heat stroke, that was never going to be an issue with the crew.
Be able to, after how much effort we put in, how much we fucking busted our balls and broke and just, oh, yeah, it was just ridiculous the efforts we went to try and clean that area up. And once we'd cleaned it up, fuck it, let's go have a beer. Let's go chill in the creek and have a cold bath.